It's the start of a big anniversary for the North Texas Poison Center. 30 years in operation, thousands of calls answered, and many lives saved.
About 300 calls a day.
We know our regional area, we know our physicians.
The center is housed at Parkland Hospital in Dallas and serves
A little over 8 million people here in North Texas. So we're giving answers to callers about drugs and poisons and overdoses.
I'm really excited about this 30 years of the North Texas Poison Center.
During this reception, staff members shared some of the history, a history of growth and success for these call takers.
They want to be able to calm down parents that are freaking out when something happens.
Most of it is reassurance about exposures that occur at home, household products, things that the kids get into.
One of the big changes over the years is that now many calls are about prescription drug overdoses, either accidental or deliberate.
So-and-so has taken a bunch of pills, what am I going to do?
Those are the routine calls, but in 30 years there are plenty of extraordinary moments, including the explosion of the Space Shuttle Columbia.
You wouldn't really think of that as poison, but we got a lot of the first calls because people were seeing things fall from the sky and they didn't know what it was and they weren't sure if it was going to hurt them, their cattle, their children.
Then there are the calls too odd to forget.
How much gopher bait does it take to kill a cow?
It was a snake like this one that led to a call from a frantic pet owner.
He saw that the dog had a snake in his mouth and was shaking the snake around. And the head of the snake actually was separated from the body and flew off out of the dog's mouth and landed on the man's arm, and the fangs bit into the man's arm. So the question was, could a man be envenomated by half of a snake? And we discovered that yes, it is actually possible.
One call involved a dog drinking antifreeze, which is highly toxic.
And the antidote for antifreeze is alcohol. And so we put the dog on an Everclear drip until it had metabolized all the antifreeze, and the dog turned out fine.
In many cases, the staff of nurses, pharmacists, and other medical professionals answering the calls can offer solutions on the phone that will solve the problem.
We manage about 60% or more of them at home. Keep them from going to the emergency department, keep them from calling 911 and allowing them to go on with their daily lives.
And for cases that do end up in the hospital, the specialized expertise of the staff here is so valued, they also take calls from
those nurses and physicians that are in the emergency rooms, be able to handle these patients and know exactly what to do and when and provide the most timely and accurate treatment.
People answer calls 24/7, but they know they can also make a big difference through education.
We also teach prevention, so we're teaching those same parents how things they can do to prevent poisonings from ever happening.
We really encourage the up and away, because if you have a kid like mine, they like to climb, right? So we want to keep it up and away where they can't see it.
There are plenty of positive outcomes to share over 30 years.
Up in the neonatal unit, the preemie babies, where they inadvertently gave too much of a drug called theophylline. And I told the physician that they needed to give oral activated charcoal. She called me back about 3 hours later, just totally amazed. She said, "You're right, his level dropped from this to that in no time flat. You're most wonderful."
It's the kind of help that has been only a phone call away for 3 decades in North Texas, and the team here is keeping up with emerging concerns, so they are ready for any question coming their way.
I try to tell them that there is an expert on the other end of that phone line that does know the answer, exactly what's going to happen.